Recording. Awesome. Well, welcome back, everybody, to hashtag TFR Motivation Monday. We are so excited that you all decided to join us on this amazing Labor Day. Hey, what was it that Labor Day started from? What was that?
It was actually in 1894. There was a labor strike. When Pullman railroad cars, they all went on strike and ended up causing problems, and 30 people died, and $80 million was spent in the cleanup. And shortly after that, they inaugurated it as a national holiday.
Yeah, it's so crazy because I've heard so many different things, and for that to be the actual reason, it's kind of crazy. So thanks you guys for taking some time out of your holiday weekend to join us, because you know what? It's important because this is the first day of the week and we want to make sure everybody gets started out the right way. And we have got two phenomenal ladies on here with us that are going to help us do that. So first, let's run through some really quick announcements so that everybody knows what you need to be on track for to be able to get your business going right for September. First of all, we've got our LifeVantage Academy that's coming up on the 15th of the month. It's only 2 weeks away, guys. You cannot believe that September will be halfway over in 2 weeks. This year's almost gone. Let's get busy, right? So LifeVantageAcademy.com. Go get registered for the closest one to you today. Get it done. Plus, we've got Global Convention coming up. There's going to be so many things happening at that event that you do not want to miss. We've got new product lines that are going to be announced. We've got all kinds of rank advancements globally that are going to be recognized from stage. We have outside of the company thought leaders, comedians, all kinds of stuff that are going to be there to teach us, entertain us, plus breakout sessions that'll blow your mind, but also blow you into gear in building your business. So get registered for Global Convention. Plus, you get 100 points for attending for the Ireland trip. So talking about the Ireland trip, we only need 1,000 points to attend, right, for one person. Of course, we want 2 people to go, so we need to have a few more points than that. But 100 points right there going to Global Convention. You can get 400 points for enrolling customers and new business partners. And then rank advancing. Help your personals rank advance. You get points for helping them. You get your own points for rank advancing yourself, and maintenance points. Every single person on this call can qualify. You just have to decide to. So our top 10 leaderboard so far, we've got Bob and Laura Robbins, Clarissa Griffith, David Lee, Maria Burcal, Laura Troppel, Ren, Sama Sierra, and then we've got Elizabeth Veneracion. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, but Renato Miguel, Chelsea Fournier, and Jill Malhoit round out the top 10. But keep in mind, those numbers are going to be changing at the 15th of the month as things are verified. So we'll be coming back to you with the update too. Push! Why not? You can be on the top 10 too. So first of all, congratulations on everybody that had a rank advancement for themselves personally, or if you had personal enrollments that rank advanced. It's a really big deal, guys, because that's where people love to be recognized. Make sure that you're shouting it out to them on the Team Freedom Reigns Facebook page, giving them accolades for the work that they're putting in, because that's what will motivate them to the next level, and you're teaching them how they should be promoting and encouraging and rewarding their team for growing. So you know what, guys, that is really all the announcements I want to go into, because I don't want to waste any more of this 30-minute call on that, because we've got some
special announcements and special guests for you guys.
Seriously. So Don D, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it over to you to just kind of.
Well, this is the second part of our red carpet experience theme that we started last week with Taylor Worry. And you guys heard masterfully from him what the red carpet experience is all about, how you can use it to bring new people into your business, why people would even be concerned about it, or why they would want to be part of it. But we wanted to share with all of you guys some absolute rock stars, like Marcy said, that we got a chance and the blessing to participate in the red carpet experience with, because of the people that these lovely ladies brought to the equation. So the first question we want to ask them, and again, this call is all about them. We want you to hear from them. So Chelsea Fournier and Sarah Smith, this question is for both of you guys. You guys figure out how you want to answer it. The first question is this. And
you know what? Let's just make it easy for you guys. Sarah, if you want to respond first, and then Chelsea, and then that way you're not like holding up like
on the screen.
We all know who's going.
So here's the first question. So what were you both doing on a daily and weekly basis that led you to the people that you brought, your prospects that you brought to the red carpet experience?
And I'm sorry, I have to intervene again. I want to know who you are and your story first. Will you share with us who you are and how you're finding yourself on this screen? Because your story is phenomenal.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me on to share a little bit. I feel like, LifeVantage was dropped into my lap and my husband's lap, almost 6 years ago. So at the end of September, it's actually our 6-year anniversary. So we have been working at this for quite some time, and it was dropped in our laps. Really, we were looking at it from a product standpoint. Both of us were struggling with, Lyme disease. We were trying to figure out a way. At the same time, we were out of work and our bank accounts were draining. So we were looking for an alternative way to actually bring in and diversify our income, because we were both in the trades. My background is in massage therapy and the healing arts. And I've been in that for 18 years. And my husband has been in the trades as well, either swinging a hammer or pulling somebody off the mountain and fixing them up, you name it. We both kind of had our hands in the mix. And when we're not there, the money's not there, right? So we were actually looking for network marketing and just had no idea that it was this awesome until we were put in front of the ABC Investigative News Report. So at that point in time, we jumped on the products, had amazing results, and our life started to change like immediately. So that, that's a little bit about our background. And like 5 years, almost 6 years later, we are, life is good. We have transitioned into being able to work this business more. We love what we do, and our mindset and our vision has really shifted. So for us, this has been a game changer. This is our path. And, that's kind of how we, started out and where we are right now.
That's awesome. So Chelsea, same thing. Your story
Sure.
is crazy where you've been and where you are now.
I know, right? So my name is Chelsea Fournier. I now live in Wilmington, North Carolina, but kicked off my LifeVantage journey when up in Maine, which is my home state. And my background, it's so cool to hear all the different backgrounds. Cop, chiropractor, massage therapist. My background is as a startup attorney. And what I really found early into my career is I actually liked kind of molding the course of startup businesses more than I liked doing the legal work for them. And so very quickly, I started to realize that I wanted to become an entrepreneur, and also very quickly being in that sitting at a desk, very like sedentary. It's just, if you know me, that is not me. And I grew up as a dancer, as a creative, and then all of a sudden I was only using my left brain and only sitting and billing hours over and over and over. Mm-hmm. And so that was a disconnect for me, and it was really impacting my health and my mental health. And so thankfully, my big sister was looking at me and saying, okay, so I see you struggling with your health. I came across this product through Sarah Smith, who was the introducer, kind of the chain of introductions. And my sister said, I just remembered this the other day. She sent me a bottle of Protandim Nerf 2 and I returned it to her. And then she sent it to me again and said, no, really, I want you to take this. And I started to notice amazing shifts in my health, in my mental health, and my clarity. And that allowed me to really have more of an upcycle of looking at the business. I had been launching other businesses, a podcast, entering business plan competitions, trying to find that plan B. But I was working to create a plan B instead of aligning with one. And once I realized that I could align with a company that just so meshed with my mission and my vision and the skill sets I wanted to bring to the table, that I wouldn't have to start from like ground zero, making a website and doing all the things, it just made sense. And now I've literally never been more excited about where we're going as a company, as a team, and really just seeing leadership step up, even from brand new people who really have natural born leadership. So it's a really exciting time to be hanging out with Team Freedom Reigns and seeing everything that's happening. So that's kind of, I've been involved for 5.5 years. So that's been my journey.
Wow. Well,
Seriously.
Dondi and I have just really meshed together what Team Freedom Reigns is really all about. And it's exactly what you guys are saying, is taking ordinary people and helping them become
extraordinary,
right? And giving them that path, because both of you are so different in your backgrounds, and you've both found your lane completely different in building your business. And so we really want people to understand that we have a place for anyone. And if you just have that desire and drive, you can build your LifeVantage business and be successful. So I'm going to actually be quiet now and let Dondi ask all the questions after. No, we've got the formalities out of the way.
Awesome. And I just wanted to reiterate, it was such a blessing to witness both of you in action and watching how your different backgrounds brought you to the same place at that red carpet experience, and watching you orchestrate that with your guests and prospects was just amazing and masterful to watch, and we were very blessed to be a part of that. So I'm going to repeat the first question that I have for you guys. And what was it that you were doing on a daily basis and a weekly basis that led you to the prospects that you brought to the red carpet experience? And Sarah, go ahead and go first.
Did you? Okay, so for me, it was really like identifying, like I know at about, I don't know, 4.5 years in, and feeling like I had success, but really looking to take, you know, my business to the next level. I started to looking at how, like, what is it that what are my strengths? Like, I just identifying what my own strengths were. And when I looked back at my life, I had launched 3 massage therapy practices in brand new locations and had success in each one. And I thought, okay, I know I'm actually really good at going to a place where no one knows me, creating relationships and starting something. And so I kind of said, you know what? I think, you know, I want to launch Boston. And so I told myself for, you know, 1 day a week, I'm going to take the train from Maine into downtown Boston, and I'm going to show up to networking events. I'm going to build through LinkedIn. I'm going to do one-on-ones. You know, I thought I'm going to meet people on the train. I was just going to dedicate that 1 day to launching this area. And what I found after about a year was that 2 things. One is that that's a lot of work when you're working in a cold market to go down there and actually establish relationships at a deeper level. So I decided to join a networking group that actually met 1 day a month, 1:30 to 3 o'clock on a Monday each month. And I thought, okay, I can show up to that. I feel like that is where I was at that moment. So I joined the Tip Club, and these people saw my face every day. And so I was like, okay, I'm catching on to something. It's not about what I have my hands on. It's about them knowing me, right? Which is why in network marketing, I think you know, when you're growing your business, you want your hot contacts, your warm market, all the people that know you to know what you're up to first. So for those of you that are just starting your business, don't go directly into cold market. You have just a gold mine, you know, right in front of you. Okay. So, you know, as you grow your business and you're working through those particular contacts, then hit your cold market. So for me, I was in that place of like needing to grow my database. So then from that meeting, I was introduced to BNI, which is Business Networking International. That is where, you know, at 6:45 a.m. in the morning, I showed up to a room full of people that were positive, that were curious about what I was doing and wanted to be a referral source for me, you know? And I thought, wow, okay, I have a whole sales force here that I can work with, because I was really looking to move faster and how can I meet more people and develop relationships quicker. And from there, a series of literally one person I met introduced me to another person who I met, and I just followed my heart. I followed what resonated with me. And at that point in time, it was the magic was in the room for me. The magic was sitting across from somebody and just like, and deepening that relationship in the moment, because I wasn't doing it quickly enough online. It didn't feel as authentic. So for me, that in-person thing is what led me to my red carpet person, which is, I wasn't even, you know, what led me to her, the actions were literally like daily action in growing the business, but also knowing where my strengths were. And then it leading into you know, an event that was actually personally growing me on how I can deepen the relationships that I have already in a way that was authentic and not sort of salesy. And that's what I was looking for. So I was looking for that next step with like, I have all these people. Now, how do I deepen the relationship? And through my personal growth and development and signing up to study with, you know, somebody who's going to grow me, that's where I was literally a sponge. I wasn't pitching my red carpet person. I was literally becoming an asset for her. And that's the takeaway. Yeah, becoming an asset for the person who is, you know, making 6 figures on some level, you know, because it's a different mindset. People who are making 6 figures in anything are givers.
Yes.
And if you can align with that and become an asset to them on some level, because I, you know, that was the neat part about it. There's no pitching involved of the business.
Yeah. It's all about that deposit thing, right? Making that deposit first.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
Exactly.
Okay.
Seriously. And Chelsea, how about you? Your path was very different.
Yeah, I think very different in some respects, in kind of the modality, but similar to Sarah, when I joined LifeVantage, I'd never done network marketing and just became a sponge and grew my business to Pro 5 very quickly, really doing a lot of in-person meetings, sit downs, driving to Buffalo, New York, flying to North Carolina, launching markets before I probably had any business launching markets. And what I loved about that is it taught me the skills. You know, last night I did a call for our team and was talking about, like, I can remember the first whiteboard presentation I did, but if you asked me to pinpoint the 100th, I probably couldn't. And so I just quickly got into doing the things that leaders are supposed to do. And what I found is about a year in, I started to realize that I was the weird lawyer, that I actually grew my law practice very quickly in a very niche market because of leveraging Twitter and LinkedIn, which are not typically channels that lawyers will start to dabble into. But I had established a professional presence there very intentionally. And I wasn't leveraging that in my LifeVantage business, which felt like kind of silly. And so really over the past 2.5 or 3 years, I've been focusing on finding ways that I can have consistent, intentional action every day to grow my database through social media, while knowing that I'm still going to deepen the relationships through in-person or through Zoom or using any method of having that one-on-one connection. And so the daily and weekly actions for me, I'm pretty regimented. I have a checklist that I do every day on Facebook to keep my engagement up. I have like a Sunday, Wednesday, Friday activity on LinkedIn of either posting or generating new connections. So I have kind of these systems, because what I found is on social media, you can just spend all your time figuring out what to do, or you can choose some systems, stay in your lane, and just do.
Yes.
Because it takes a lot of energy to watch every webinar and figure out every method, right? And so I decided that Facebook is where I nurture relationships and LinkedIn is where I grow my network. Similar to showing up to a BNI is growing your database, and having coffee with them is nurturing that relationship, right? So I just decided to use those two platforms in those very specific ways. And what happened for me with my red carpet introduction was this gentleman was actually looking for someone to sponsor him into network marketing. He was the odd duck that was saying, I want to come out of retirement and get back into network marketing, but I'm not sure who I want to land with. And so he was searching network marketing. Now, LinkedIn is an incredibly powerful search engine. If you set up your profile correctly with good search engine keywords, you show up in Google searches. I showed up in a Google search of his. He saw a post that I had posted like 2 weeks prior about network marketing. And then he started going into my profile and trying to figure out what company I was with, and he couldn't. And that's the power of the way that I approach social media, is that I want to force a conversation, not be a poster or a billboard.
Yes.
And so I woke up on August the 6th to messages that had happened overnight, because he's West Coast, on August 5th, of him saying, I can't figure out what company you're with, but I think I want to join your team. And then he had actually clicked through and found that I use an online scheduling system. He found it, booked a time on my calendar and said, we're talking at 11 a.m. So my relationship really came because I'd been planting seeds. If I didn't have good keywords in my profile from developing my profile over the past 2 years, if I hadn't gotten into a rhythm of posting quotes that I learned about network marketing, just the little seeds that I have literally, if I were to guess, I've been on probably 500 to 800, somewhere in there, calls with people from LinkedIn over the past 3 years. So if it took me that many calls to find one person who was going to be voraciously excited about joining, who has, we'll see people who think about the red carpet, like it still is developing a relationship. It's not just overnight poof, $1 million leg. It's still developing a relationship, for me, in my case, with a stranger, because I met him through LinkedIn, and developing that relationship from there going forward. And so really for me, it's doing the do. For me, I know that Facebook, I have certain engagement that I do every day. On LinkedIn, I really try to do, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, or some combination of creating content once in a while, making sure my profile is set up, and connecting and not being passive, like proactively booking calls and having conversations. So I say, we're in different lanes, but very similar. in that it's about expanding your database and nurturing those relationships and not just expecting it to fall into your lap, you know?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
Wow.
good.
So good.
Great response.
So next question for both of you is, what were your two biggest takeaways from the event now that you've participated in it?
Let's see. I mean, I love the analogy that Taylor used with us, which is that, LifeVantage is he really wants to be a lighthouse for network marketers that want to find a new home, and that we're not out poaching the top people in other companies.
Right.
Like the level of integrity and the level of commitment to finding the right people to join our business and to join LifeVantage to take us to $1 billion it's a lot more there than I actually thought it was before I went in. So I love that analogy of just being the lighthouse and, the safe haven, because what I found is that as Darren Jensen, Brian Goodwin, Natalie Chevreau, every single person who rotated through, they all said, this is a really great experience. This is really enjoyable, as Darren Jensen said. This is you're going to enjoy yourself. Because I think a lot of people, most people who were showing up in that room thought they'd never do network marketing again. And whether they were the people on the red carpet or the staff and corporate team never thought they would be in it again. So you had these, it was really, really cool to see how everybody came together around this, because it's this can exist. The other takeaway I had is that people who are qualified for the red carpet that actually become red carpet tees, I guess you would say, they can actually use that event just like we build for our living room meetings. They can actually build for a red carpet. And that's what happened with my one red carpet. She had the vision of having 5 of her friends who were making in network marketing come with her. So she was already building for it as soon as she realized she qualified for it. So, and I just encouraged her to continue to do that. And now some of the people who are on the, they seem really positive about coming on. Like I said, I'm not going crazy. It's it is about developing relationships, just like Chelsea. You just don't know. It's 3 people show up, 1 person might do it, and we'll see. But what I found is that one of the most exciting things that that Greg saw with this, which was a guest, was actually the app, and how artificial intelligence is actually going to be helping his team track customers and track their businesses. They're looking at this high level vision of, what's going to differentiate the companies out there and where things fell short when he had built a couple of teams in the past. So the thing that excited him the most was the app, and which was really cool. So it was really fun to see kind of this high level look at the system, and I'll go into that with the next question, because that kind of leads me into the next question. But those were kind of my 2 biggest takeaways from that.
That's awesome.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chelsea, what were yours?
So I think my 2 biggest takeaways, one was what an amazing support team Dondi and Marcy are.
Oh, thank you.
The fact that I got my red carpet on a call with Dondi, and Marcy was texting Dave Fleming at the same time that we were talking, being like, wait, could we go in a day before and get Chelsea's guy the day before? The fact that was being orchestrated and having that vision was amazing. So just knowing that they flew, we shared a hotel room, we got to really hang out, to know that for any of you who are new and saying, oh my gosh, how would I orchestrate this? You contact the people who have the connections, and they're amazing. So thank you so much for being away from your family, coming out for these events, supporting us through all of this big chaos, exciting chaos. So the first was really that we're in a team that is ready and willing, more than willing, to pave the way. And the second takeaway was actually a specific response by Dave Fleming during a conversation while we were all in the room. in Justin Rose's office, which was super cool. And so the guy that I'm working with has big vision. He built an organization to over 4.5 million in volume in 3 months in a company previously. So he's like, big vision. And so one of his questions was, if I drop in millions of dollars of volume in the next couple months, would the company be able to handle that? And Dave Fleming was just taking notes. He didn't flinch. And he was like, yeah, sure. And so the confidence of scalability to me was like, I don't know if we can do this, but the fact that the company didn't flinch and wasn't like, oh man, we'd have to figure out quality control. Or he was just like, oh yeah, cool. Let me note that down. And I was like, whoa, we as a company are playing way smaller than our capability.
Yes.
Because if we can scale up to that level that quickly, to go from 200 million to him saying, hey, can I personally have a several $1 million leg? Like, that's a big difference. And so that was huge to me to realize that as a company, and he said, we've positioned ourselves to be scalable. And he said, if you had asked me that question even a year ago, I might have been nervous. But right now I can confidently say, no problem, game on. How do we help you do that? And that really instilled huge confidence in me that they're not just bringing in red carpet people and saying, hey, we'll see what happens. They have a plan and they're ready. So for any of us that have relationships on a chicken list, it's time to talk to them, because they will have a great experience on the red carpet and a scalable, really strong ability to build an organization that can become their legacy. And that's really attractive. Yeah. So those were the two things, you guys, and scalability.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And when you were talking about your first whiteboard presentation, you remember that, but your 100th, this was our first red carpet experience that we participated in too. And to be able to go through it with you two was just amazing. But I can't speak for Marcy, but we've talked about it since, but what we got was that scalability too, is that from an observational standpoint, we just were blown away by how amazing our corporate team is and how amazing our company is and how wonderfully they work together and just synergistically orchestrate something of that magnitude was pretty powerful to be a part of.
I think that we came away with thinking that it's like us as leaders have not been thinking big enough, fast enough for a team. And so corporate's got us covered. It's up to us, right? So it's time for us all to get going. So we're running out of time. So,
let's
last question, like 1 minute each, okay?
So now that you've been through this and now that you've seen the vision of what this could be, how do you see this changing your business moving forward?
Can you get it, Sarah?
Got it. I mean, I really think it comes down to the system. And if you're thinking about growing like this massive organization, it's this whole new appreciation for the system that we have, because the level at which, when you have big vision, you've got to feel confident in the system. And I feel like we have an amazing system. Kim and Chelsea coming up with the Launch Strong, and you guys kind of doing your version of the Launch Strong. Like when momentum hits, we can just be plugging people in, to something that is like, they need to actually step up and do, meet you kind of right where they are. So anyway, that's really it. Like, I feel like for me, yes, the business will grow and I'll grow and everything like that, and we'll all grow. But it's that clear picture of like a well-oiled machine with the system and just, leveraging you guys and corporate, and, it's amazing. So good visions for sure.
Awesome. All right, Chelsea.
Cool. Well, and to answer this question concisely, there's some things that are not going to change, and one specific thing that is changing. So the day I got back from the red carpet, I was still doing my daily method. I'm still shooting for 15 presentations. I can't bank on, one particular organization growing faster. And so for me, the daily action is not changing. I trust the actions that I do. I'm not going to slow down on getting new people in. I'm launching probably 2 new distributors this week. And I care so much about everyone in my organization. The one thing that is changing, and I'll share this as a specific quote from the gentleman I'm working with. So he's talking about all these big things, right? And he's a neuroscientist. He's very particular about language. And at one point he said, okay, so I'm prepared to bring 1,000, his focus is to bring chiropractic offices in who will then participate in our doctor's program. And so he's saying, you know, I want to bring 1,000 doctors in. And my gut reaction was, whoa, holy, that's crazy. And he was like, no, it's not crazy. And actually, the only reason you have not done that before is because you think it is.
Yes.
And I was like, so true. Like, why should I think that bringing 1,000 people into an amazing movement very quickly is crazy? It's not. And he has the vision to know that he has done that before. And so if nothing else, my vision is growing of what is possible instead of thinking on a smaller scale of, you know, a $40 customer. And you still need to do that. And if you're brand new, that's where you got to start. You got to get your first customer. You got to get your first silver pack or platinum pack and see that duplication happen. But to see someone who's been in the industry and who's worked and trained with some of the greats in our, both in our industry and personal development, that when he articulated that and paused me and said, no, the reason you have not done it yet, and he used the word yet, is because you think it is crazy. And I just loved that. So that's something I would say my actions are not going to change because I trust our systems. I trust the action that I take daily. But what is changing is the vision of how much faster it can go.
Yes. Yes, and yes
Absolutely.
to both of you.
I know.
Yay!
Thank you guys
You both
so
are
much.
so amazing. And just so everybody knows, by the way, the sacrifices that are being made right at this moment. First of all, you know, Chelsea has been sick for this past week and has not had a voice. She's been saving her voice all day long so she could be on this call.
Yes,
and we could hear
for
her amazing nuggets of wisdom. And then Sarah, what light are you using right now?
He's been a power outage.
She has no electricity.
A flashlight on a white wall. Not too bad. The light okay?
You look amazing. Yes, but what I'm saying is it's the sacrifices that leaders make in order to do the things that they say they're going to do. So thank you guys so much for having the integrity, being people of your word, and being part of this amazing movement with us. And guys, you know, you've got to share this. This is a video that your team needs to see if they weren't on this call live. Make sure that they see it. See that no matter how they decide to build their business, they can build their business. They don't have to be like anybody else. Don't compare yourself to anyone else at all. Compare-itis
doesn't work.
You know, it's 100% fatal. It will kill and prey on your dreams, your goals, your vision, your future, and it will take it, you know, captive. So don't compare yourself to anybody. So another thing I wanted to remind everybody, if you did not watch the Pro 4 and Above leadership call that I shared to the team group today, I challenge you to do it. I don't care if you're not a Pro 4. It's your turn to watch it as motivation to get yourself there. Also to start the month strong. Master Pro 10, Brandon Cunningham, gave amazing tips on what to do at the beginning of the month to have a really strong, productive, you know, exciting growth in your business. And if you didn't know, we just opened Austria. So now we are open in 15 countries. So it's time to get busy building our businesses, guys. So thanks again,
Thank
ladies.
you guys both for coming on.
And thanks
amazing
again for joining us for this.
Thanks for having us.
Our Motivation Monday. You're amazing. Love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.